Hey y'all, so this week we're learning Kenny Baker's Pass Me Not, and it has a lot of double stops and it has a lot of places with tricky fingering. So I had just worked through the song and I thought I would try to show y'all the way I worked out some of the trickier parts, just because I thought that would be helpful. So I was just going to walk through the song and show a couple of the places and the fingering that I do, and then I'll do my best to play the whole song. All right, so the first tricky part comes in the second measure when we have a 2 low and a 2 at the same time. So we have, starting from the beginning of the song, and then the way I play that 2 low and that 2 is I'm going to move my first finger up to where the 2 low was on the A string, and I'm going to stick my second finger up there into that 2 on the D string. So I've got, so that's, I'm using 1 and 2 for that 2 low and 2. All right, so so the rest of that is just as written. And then here we have a 2 low and a 4 and measure 4, and that's a D and an F. Now, it would be quite a stretch to play 2 low on the D string and 4 on the G string. So what we're going to do is slide up into second position and play that 2 low, that F with our first finger on the D string. And then you're going to play the D with the third finger on the G string. So like that. So it's like a 1 low and a 3 right there. So, all right. So and then we're back down to the first position again in the 6th measure. Now here in measure 7, I'm going to do something a little bit different. The last note there is a 2 and a 1, and it would be pretty easy to do 2. So that would be pretty easy. But you'd have to switch fingers going from the 2, 1 at the end of measure 7 to the 3, 2 low at the beginning of measure 8. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slide my 3 and 2 down and put it down a little closer in this direction, closer to the scroll than it should be, and slide it up to the 3, 2 low. So I'm basically going to put the 3, 2 down where the 2, 1 should go and slide it up to the 3 low. So it sounds kind of like this. That. Now I'm going to do something similar here at the beginning of measure 10. Instead of going back to the 2 low that it shows right there, I'm just going to take that same 3 and 2 low and I'm going to slide it down and back up again. All right, so I'm going to start real quick at measure 7 and play through measure 10. So, and then the next part is just like what we've already done before. The next tricky part comes at the measure measure 18, where it goes up high. So that's going to go up to a B flat on the E string and an F on the A string. So there's your F. I find it pretty easy to find my F because I find my E first. And you can hear it ring, and then if you put the second finger on the E string, then the F is right next to that. So I'm going to use 3 and 2 low for that high, those high notes up there. So it's basically up into 3rd position. So So these are the notes that I've found the hardest in the song to get correct, because you kind of have to just jump up there. If you kind of slide into it, it makes it a little easier, but it's still tricky. I would just do lots of practice, practicing going between measure 17 and measure 18. So you're going to slide up to third position for measure 18, and then you come right back down again for measure 19. All right, now here in measure 21, we have another 2 and 2 low. This time, though, I've already got my second finger on the G string on 2 low, so I'm just going to slide my third finger down to the 2. Let's see. All right, now comes the next little tricky bit in measure 25. So first we've got 1 and 3 low. Now, what's written there? The third note there in measure 25 is written as a it's written as a 2 low 1, but I'm playing it as an O on the A string and O on the D string. It's just a very quick note to bridge you between the 2 low and 1 and between the 2 and 1. And for that 2 and 1, I'm going to play it just like I played the other 2 and 1s, using 3 and 2, which will let me slide back up into the 3 and 2 low at the beginning of measure 26. So I'm going to play that 25 and 26 like this. Let's see. Let's see. So this is starting from 24. One more time. All right. And that, I think that is it till the end of the song. So I'm just gonna, I think everything else is stuff that we've already covered. So I'm just gonna show you very slowly once more what I do there in measure 25. So I start with 2 low and 1. And then while I switch to 3 and 2 here, I played the 2 open strings to give my fingers time to switch. Like that. And then I stick the 3 and the 2 up there where the 2 and the 1 should go. So one more time. All right. This video is really long, so I'm not going to play the whole thing. I might make another video really quickly playing the whole thing.